For those who haven't seen the last episode, Episode 4 gave us thrilling moments when Mark went to the future to stop a tyrannical immortal. Mark and Eve also spent some time together after their date was ruined. Alan, along with Nolan, and Battle Beast break out from the prison and kills the Viltrumites. Alan also finds out there are less than 50 Viltrumites in the universe.
There are fewer than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left in the universe.
Bringing us back to Episode 5. After Paul tried killing Rex because of Kate, Mark had no choice but to arrest him. But now, Mr. Lou wants Paul out of prison, and he wants Titan to do the dirty work. Titan gets himself ready, and his daughter comes to meet him, grabbing his hand. They take a walk to her school, and she tells Titan what she learned about dinosaurs. Titan is impressed, and his daughter also tells him about her goal to sell the most cookies in the school and win a computer. They stop for coffee, and after his daughter leaves, Isotope teleports and says they have a problem. Back at the prison, an officer does his job of distributing foods to the inmates. After he serves Multi-Paul, he leaves the area. Paul looks around and makes sure the coast is clear before taking a deep breath ready to execute his plan. He makes multiple copies of himself and stays in a corner in the room. His plan is to make as many copies of himself until he can break out. He does this in the most gruesome way, and blood from his dying clones spill out. He keeps making as many copies as he needs, and he breaks the prison door. He jumps down and makes his getaway, but there are officers around. Paul does a lot of stunts trying to get away and fights with the guards. But ultimately, as he is about to escape, he gets put on a collar, restricting him from using his powers. The guards knock him out, and in the next scene, Kate comes to meet him, telling him what Paul did was stupid, and she was very close to convincing Cecil to help him out. But this doesn't change the fact Paul thinks he's too useful to be locked up, and the order would break him free. Kate tries to talk some sense to him, but Paul says she is also a murderer like him, even if she died trying to save the country from a nuke. They mention it was their dad's birthday, and they flash back to their past, how they lost their dad, were trained to be weapons, and Multi-Paul escape. Kate says she wants to help him out, but Paul says he can't leave the order, even if he wanted to. Back at Mark's home, Eve sneakily leaves the house, and Debbie calls Mark for breakfast. Just turn the doorbell rings, and Eve is at the door. Debbie invites her to join them for breakfast, and while they are eating, she asks if Mark slept well. Before Mark can answer, Oliver snitches and says Mark didn't sleep, and Mark woke him up with the noises they made. Mark denies this, saying it was a movie. Yeah, right, bro, just a movie. Later, Mark breaks the news to his mom of Eve and him wanting to get a place of their own. Oliver and his mom are saddened by Mark's decisions, and we see Eve and Mark on the roof. Eve tells him she didn't know he was serious, and makes a light joke about living with a drooling Mark. She says they need to figure out how to afford it. So Mark suggests a part-time job. The next day, Eve goes to meet with the warden of the prison, and she suggests a solution to the problem of the inmates escaping and trying to break out. She pitches the woman saying the hero stopped the previous breakout, and his name is... Meanwhile, Mr. Lou is angry at Titan for not being able to break out Multi-Paul from prison. Titan tries to explain that there's too much heat, but Mr. Lou gives him a deadline of 24 hours. Titan doesn't care until he mentions Fiona, his daughter, which causes Titan to rush home in distress. He asks his wife where Fiona is, and he calls his daughter. He hugs her, and Fiona tells him about school. She also mentioned Mr. Lou bought all her cookies, and this gets Titan upset. Later, Mark is impressed with the business Eve was able to set up, but they are disturbed when Debbie rushes in and tells Mark Oliver is gone. Without wasting time, Eve and Mark fly out to search for Oliver. Mark thinks about calling Cecil, but Eve sights him. They go into a bush and sees Oliver skating with his friends. Oliver tries to land a truck shot without his powers and falls down. His friends help out, and Oliver wants to try again. Mark is surprised Oliver made normal friends, and some bullies come to chase them. Oliver stands his ground, and the bullies get physical. Mark is worried Oliver would show his killing tendencies again, but Oliver surprises him and handles the bullies in a funny way. They run away, seeing Oliver has powers, and they continue playing. Meanwhile, Titan is confused. Why, if Mr. Lou has the power to break Paul out, why doesn't he just do it himself? But Isotope tells him Lou just wants to test his loyalty, and if he's truly a lapdog. Back at Teen Team's base, Rex sends an invite to Ray to a personal maid dinner. Ray is impressed Rex took into consideration she's never had a normal dinner before, and went ahead to do it for her. They celebrate with some of Immortal's old wine, before spitting it out. Ray says none of this is normal, but she appreciates the fact it's still good, and tells Rex thank you. At the prison, Machine Head receives an unexpected visit from Titan, and he nags about how the officers have been taking care of him in prison. Machine Head figures out Titan has gotten a visit from Mr. Lou, and he laughs about it. Titan tells him what Mr. Lou wants him to do, and how Mr. Lou threatened his daughter. Machine Head doesn't care. He says either Titan does what Lou says, or loses his family. Mark tells his mom about last night, and Debbie is very happy Oliver is having fun. Mark says he would tell him to stop sneaking out at night, and he gets a call from the station. Turns out Titan is attacking the prison, and Invincible arrives just in time to stop him. Invincible is about to attack him, settling the scores from last time. But Titan transforms to normal, knowing Invincible doesn't hurt humans. Titan says a lot of people are going to die if Mark doesn't help him. He shows Mark the former neighborhood and how he changed the place from being crime-ridden to a peaceful place people live in. He tells Mark about Mr. Lou and the Order, saying they need to take them down. But Mark thinks it's just another trick. He tries to catch Titan, but Titan escapes and uses his men to blend in. Eve reassures Mark that not helping Titan was the right thing since he's a bad guy. Meanwhile, Titan gets a visit from Mr. Lou. Since Titan has no multi-Paul to provide, he tells Isotope to take care of Mr. Lu, but Isotope betrays him, and Mr. Lu transforms into a giant dragon. He scares the shit out of Titan. Although Titan tries to fight back, he does his best, but he's thrown off the building. Mr. Lu asks them to guard his body, since it's his only weakness. He attacks the prison, and they call on Mark and Eve for help. Their battle begins when Mark holds a dragon tail. They have an intense fight, and ultimately wreck the prison. Invincible leads him out of the prison, and the inmates try to escape. Multi-Paul does his best to break the collar, even if it means killing his clones. Eve shows up to stop the inmates, and she captures Multi-Paul, except a secret clone. Invincible keeps fighting with Mr. Lu, and Mr. Lu bites into him. This gets Invincible upset, and he stops holding back. He falls down at a fast speed and kills Lu, but unfortunately the dragon can't be killed. Turns out Machine Head was broken out of prison, and he tells Mr. Lu's bodyguard that he will kill Mr. Lu. Isotope takes care of the guard, and Machine Head cocks his gun. Before Mark gets killed, the dragon vanishes, and Titan thanks him for helping indirectly. Eve again tries convincing Mark he didn't mess up fully, but with how things are moving faster than we as a couple, Mark suggests that they hold off on the apartment. Eve goes along with the suggestions, and they hold each other. Later, Mark breaks the news to his mom, and Debbie is relieved Mark isn't moving out. She hopes Mark isn't doing this because of her, but Mark reassures her. She makes a light joke about her pancake, and they laugh it out. She also tells Mark she knows he and Eve are doing the deed, and Mark blitzes and goes to his room. Machine Head shows up in a meeting with the Order. Machine Head tells him he killed Mr. Lu and is entitled to a seat. He asks if anyone has a new business idea, and Titan walks in. He tells Machine Head he wants to protect the city and wants out of the Order. Since Machine Head is in a good mood, he allows Titan. He also compliments Titan on his intelligence, on how he outsmarted both him and Mr. Lu. The movie comes to an end with a scene hinting at Paul's escape. And in the post-credit scene, we see how Mr. Lu's bodyguard brings him back to life. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more recaps of your favorite shows.